Tisha. This is Iya Atalola Otuyumi. Today I want to speak on you need to spiritually choose. There's a lot of us that are on the fence about what sect or what line or what path we need to belong on. A lot of people are eclectic, and that's due to Google. But back when we had Big Mama, and because a lot of people grow up Christian, and when they grow up Christian, that's all they know. Greetings, baby. What's up? hey, hey, envy and boisterous. Um, a lot of people grow up Christian, and they grow up Christian due to the fact that that's what they're used to. When they were kids, their mamas dragged them into church. Their grandmama, their auntie, whoever they lived with, dragged them into church, made them go to Sunday school. So I'm at work right now, so this is perfect. if you if you got any questions, about, what I'm talking about, we can talk if you got time to text it out. But you choose what your parents are. Some of us grow up in Christian homes, and how we are led from Christianity is because of what we seen, how we seen Christians move, how we seen, you might have seen your uncle who was a deacon in the church womanizing. You might have seen your pastor riding around in a big old car with a big house and the people in the pews barely making Sunday dinner. I remember back when I was small, the pastor used to come to everybody's house on Sunday. Like he would go to this person's house this Sunday, that person's house that Sunday. And a lot of times those would be single mothers, and they would let him eat before they would feed their children. So every week the pastor had a full meal, to where the kids and the woman making the meal, she would have to uh, make do with what he left. So this is why I'm saying you need to choose. Now, if that's what you like, that's fine. But I'm telling you why a lot of people are divesting from the church. And if you are, being eclectic is not always good. uh Practicing a little this and practicing a little that, practicing a little this and practicing a little that is not good, because you are going down the road and you're practicing something that most times those deities do not mix with each other. Some of them are along the same lines. Like I've heard that Hecate and Oya is the same, but they're not the same to me. Hey, how 100? They're not the same to me. Later on, probably sometime this week, I'm going to do a video on different deities and different pantheons on different days. But today I just want to talk about, you know, choosing, spiritually choosing. So just say you are in uh, voodoo, and you decide that you want to do some work. You cannot turn around, use Baron Samedi, which is a Loa. He's the Loa of the graveyard. He's part of the Gede family. I'll do a video on that later too. But you cannot turn around and then at the same time do something for Eshu. Eshu is an Odisha, and they are not in the same pantheon. So a lot of people are mixing these things up and can't understand why they are having chaotic experiences in their life. You might be dealing with Hecate on Monday. Well, Tuesday you turn around and then you want to go and give Oshun offerings. That don't People don't understand that those energies are not alike. So if they're not alike, there's going to be some clashing going on. And you, once again, you might create chaos in your life. When you're having altars to different, even sometimes in the same pantheon, you cannot have two of the same altars in the same room or beside each other. For instance, it's not good to have Ogun and Shango uh, altars or shrines next to each other because they are not friendly towards each other due to the fact of Oya. One Patiki says that uh, Oya was married to Ogun, and Shango took Oya left Ogun for Shango. So how can you have these two side by side when they are known to fight, even though both of them are Orisha? We do not. I have an altar. It's within me. Well, that's what I'm saying. You choose. Because a lot of times we are the altar. We are actually our ancestor altar. Because all of our ancestors' bloodlines are within us. So you can actually offer offerings to your ancestors by eating. You could say, I am eating this in offering for. At least that's how I have practiced. Especially when you don't have a lot of money. You go to your ancestors and say, listen, you know my situation. I only got enough to feed me, to sustain me. Um, is it okay if I use my body as an altar at this time to give you offerings? And there's always pouring out libations for your ancestors if you just don't have anything. The deal is never to forget them. So you're correct. I also noticed that people are mixing Paloma Yombe and voodoo. Sometimes you can mix that and sometimes you can't. There was this woman, she was a kickboxer. She mentioned on her ancestors but got knocked out by her opponent. But maybe it was her time to get knocked the fuck out. Maybe she wasn't supposed to win that. We must realize that just because you ask for something, that don't mean they listening. Question mark. What's the question mark for, bro? Oh, yeah. A lot of, and you know what's funny too? Off topic a little bit. Um, we as practitioners have to learn, or most of us do learn, that sometimes, yeah, I will, that sometimes we we are requesting something, asking something, begging for something, and we wonder why we're not getting it. We're not getting it because, especially if we go into our ancestors, they know all and they see all. So we're not getting what we want, and we're giving offerings, and we're talking to our ancestors, and we're pouring libation, and we're going to the river, and we're going to the trees, and we're standing out in the yard or on the ground speaking to our forefathers, and we're wondering why we're not getting what we want. We're not getting what we want because a lot of times what we're asking for, we should not have. It might be detrimental to us. So you will keep on asking for something and you won't get it. It's best to stop asking because our ancestors know that what is good for us and what isn't. Does that make sense? Also, um, if you are a person that talks a good game in spirituality on any level and you don't practice what you preach, your ancestors gonna tear your ass up. Those Orisha gonna tear your ass up. Those angels gonna tear your ass up. I've heard people say if all that's real, why is Africa and all places that practice that is broke, poor, nation, famine, and so forth? The same reason why Christians been praying to God and Jesus since the white people brought us the Bible and we still are the underbelly. Same reason. I mean, if you can explain why Jesus didn't help us out of slavery, then you got your answer. Because what I practice is self-development. It has nothing to do with what's going on out in the outside world. I cannot control what the government do. I can't control what you do. I can't control what nobody else do. But I can use what I'm doing to make myself better. And if somebody come up against me, they most definitely will have a problem. And a lot of times people think that when you use spirituality against somebody for them bothering you, it's not necessarily you're sending out your spirits to harm them. It's their own spirits turning on them in a lot of cases, especially if they have wronged you. A lot of people don't believe in spirituality. A lot of people believe in Christianity. A lot of people don't believe in nothing. Whatever floats your boat, but choose. Choose not to believe. Don't have one foot in the door and one foot out. Spiritually choose. Spiritually choose not to believe in a damn thing. Because when you don't, and you got one foot in and one foot out, you create portals of chaos in your life. You can believe it or not believe it. Like if you ever notice somebody that's usually a devout Christian and then they stop going to church, they life fall in the ground. That's because when you turn your back on whatever you're working with, it turns its back on you. And you always hear people say, "Oh, come back. Jesus loves you. He wants you to come back." Why you got to go back to him if he loves you so much? He should still cover you regardless. If Jesus and God and Christianity is all knowing and you don't have to do anything, he loves you, why do you have to go to him and pray for stuff? We have to look at all those things. I don't have no problems with Christians. I've seen I've seen people pray and get whatever they want. But then again, do we actually know who and what they're praying to? The people I know that get most things quick and fast are not praying to benevolent spirits. They're not. People that pray to malevolent spirits get more things than the good ones do. And the reason why I say that, because look at the music industry. But the thing is, they've chosen. They made a choice to pay on the back end. You all know when you drink something too fast, it goes quickly to your head. You get the quickest high or drunk or whatever you need. But when you sip slow, you get a slow drunk. You get a smooth, a smooth ride with your drink. I'm not a drinker. I've just seen people get drunk like that and maintain. So driving fast down the road, you get where you need to go fast, but you also in the most danger. That's a better uh way. But I'm saying, if you're if you're using negative forces, you usually get what you want quicker. But you will pay on the back end. Definitely. And I'm not here to convince anybody to do one or another. I'm just telling you to choose. That's all I'm saying. Choose. It's better for you. You do not create portals of chaos when you choose one path instead of being so eclectic. It's okay to be eclectic when you're eclectic, like say you just stay into the ATRs. But people that jump from hoodoo to Wicca to Obeah to witchcraft to Celtic magic to runes to druid magic, they usually have a hectic lifestyle. You can't mix all those spirits up. They're all looking at you like you fucking crazy. Like, hold on, let me sip. I always, before I started Ifa, I would just stick to hoodoo practices. People don't realize that hoodoo is a mixture of, it's eclectic in itself because it's a mixture of what Native Americans had, what the Caribbeans had, down there in South America, because that's where the boat in Haiti. It's a mixture of Christianity. So it's eclectic in itself. So you wouldn't need to be using other methods if you're using hoodoo. Um, my understanding of this is whenever you are somebody that does hoodoo, you can take any old spell and make it yours. Because it's all about intent. Okay? Um, Back to what I was saying. You need to choose. You will find that people that don't choose usually end up not being able to tune out. Tune out means like they might be empathic. They're not able to tune out from those spirits. They're not able to tune out from doing magic or doing the occult. Because there's something you have to do every day in some of these practices. Like in my practice, there's a there's a day for each Odisha. You really supposed to do something um, for an Odisha each day. Then, if you have your hand at Ifa, you're supposed to do Ose Ifa um, every 5 days. Then don't forget you got to do your ancestral stuff. Also with espiritismo. You have to, you just can't mix this and that. It's not good. That's why I was saying you need to spiritually choose. Most of the time when you have people that don't as well, their lives don't be hitting on shit. It don't. Who you gonna call on today? I know people that just work with Osun. Their lives are beautiful. They dedicate their life to Osun. And that's the only deity they dedicate their life to. Just like people that dedicate their life to Jesus. Their life be beautiful. Now, some people will say they worship Jesus, and some will say they worship God. But whichever one, they are in the Christian community and they are dedicating all they have. They give offerings just like every other religion. They do rituals, and people might not believe this, but when you get up every Sunday and you go to church and you do Sunday school, that's a ritual. That is a ritual. When you do communion every first Sunday, that's a blood sacrifice. It's a ritual. Because what they say, drinketh the blood and eateth the body. What's that? That's a symbolic ritual. And people that do it faithfully live good. Look at the Jehovah Witnesses. Who has seen a broke Jehovah Witness after they've been in a Jehovah Witness for many years? I have never seen a broke Jehovah Witness. But they are so dedicated to what they do. I have never seen a broke Muslim far as in the black Muslim community. Not when, because they're so dedicated. They get dedicated to that life, to Muhammad. So all I'm saying is pick something. Because when you think about it, all the energies are the same. But when you call on these different deities with these different backstories and things like that, they're clashing. And you're conjuring up portals. Chaos magic. I think I've ran out of things to say. Do anybody have any questions before I get off? I'm just going to do these little small ones. I think probably tomorrow I'll come in and do something on either the Orisha or angels or whatever it is. I appreciate y'all. For the 3 people that came in, I appreciate y'all. Love, peace, and hair grease. I'm out.